Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yes, very, very advised. I love how I just like accidentally hit the thing and then forgot to hit the next thing that I needed to hit to make this go. That worked out great, didn't it? Anyway, what's up? Let me get the chat pulled up here so I can actually see the comments out there in the comment section of said chat. There we go. Got it pulled up. Everything's working now. I'm sorry I'm late, ladies and or gentlemen. I don't know. However you decide to identify at any given moment. I don't know. I don't care. What's up? How's everybody's weekend going? Everybody doing well? I had a pretty good day today. Nice. I mean, it wasn't like spectacular or anything, but like I had a good day. Me and my daughter went and hung out for a while, and we went to go see a movie together. And
did you have to use your AK?
Yeah, no, I didn't even have to use my AK.
Then today was a good day.
It was a good day. Yeah, it was great. No, I did. Yeah, I woke up early, did some, watched some TV, stuff like that. Me and my daughter left at 11, went and did some stuff, took her a couple places, and we went to the movies and did a couple other things, came home, ate some Chinese food, watched The Nun because she'd never seen it before. And when we went to the movies, they were playing the preview for The Nun 2, and my daughter loves horror movies. How's that feel, Duke, that a 14-year-old is braver than you?
For what? In what way? What do you mean?
She likes horror movies. She came home today and watched The Nun.
No, I will not watch that. There you go. Congratulations to your daughter. I am not watching anything like that. So yes, she is. Yes.
Yeah. So it was a pretty good day. Pretty laid back, relaxed, chill day. Got to see a movie. It was a good day. So far it's been a good weekend. Tomorrow my wife wants to go to the flea market. I don't know why yet, but she wants to go to the flea market, so we're going to have to go early before it gets to, 107 degrees tomorrow by noon, because that's what it will be. It'll still probably be like 95 if we go out at 9 o'clock in the morning, but at least it's not 107, I guess. So
has Duke had a actual ghost experience before? Is that why? No, Duke. Is that where this comes from?
Duke. No, I just got out of the bathroom.
Just tell me where the ghost touched you.
No, I just got out of the bathroom. My wife was hiding under the counter with the monkey head, with the Cornelius head from Planet of the Apes, and she scared me. It was the worst thing ever. And I have a little stomach issue, so I was coming up kind of slow, kind of like, ooh, tummy not feeling so swell.
Now, what was the Cornelius mask scarier, or was the
Momo? Yeah,
the Momo mask.
Momo got me the worst, but no, the Cornelius one is just I was not ready for it. But my daughter loves the Cornelius, head bust. She fell asleep with it the other day. She carries it around. Right.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, she thinks it's her friend or something. I don't know.
Now, it's a bust or is it a mask?
It's a bust. It's a bust. I've showed it before, I think. I'll show it again sometime. But it's a bust that my mom got for me at a thrift store many, many years ago, and then I've had it. It was in my apartment when my wife met me.
Was that one of the things you hid in the closet with all your Warhammer stuff?
The Warhammer stuff stayed in the closet, but the monkey was out. And she was like, "Oh, that needs to be put away right now." I was like, "Oh, but he's looking at us in judgment."
So I got to ask you real quick, Duke, because you're awake right now, and that's always a good sign.
It is.
The Lord of the Rings game, because I've been watching your little shorts.
Yes.
Have you played it yet? Have you messed around with it yet? I'm curious.
No, I put together all of the Morian orcs and the heroes for them, which is Gromoth or whatever, the Goonies looking guy, and then the cave troll or the Mordor troll. And now tonight I'm going to put together the Warriors of Minas Tirith and the Rangers of Osgiliath. So I'll be hopefully
paint them all up and stuff, right?
Yeah, I got all my paints and everything. So yeah, that's gonna be my step one, and I'll do that live, or I'll do a video when I'm painting them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm curious. I'm curious to see what I would love. I mean, I don't play tabletop games, so like, I would love to see like a game being played. I don't know. I used to like occasionally when I would go into like comic shops and stuff, there'd be a table at the back or whatever, and there'd be people playing, but like,
okay, it's super fun to watch.
Like hover over people, you know what I mean? So I would bits of it and stuff.
No, it's super fun to watch. And the Lord of the Rings one is a lot more simple to play and explain to someone, from my understanding, even with the rules that have changed. I'll send you a couple overview videos. There's a couple guys that do really good. They're called battle reports. Yeah. And the one I watched today was like a fictitious battle where the Uruk-hai attacked a Rohan village. And it's just like, it's nothing crazy. I think it's like maybe 40 Uruk-hai and versus like, 40 men of Minas Tirith. But the men of Minas Tirith are on like a little wall. They have like a nice encampment, and the Uruk-hai are trying to break in and kill everybody. And there's a couple heroes in the town, but then there's some wild men of Dunlin that are inside the Rohan village, and at like turn 3, they come out, and so it's kind of like a backstabbing thing. It was a super cool like little battle, and I think it took them like, you watch it for like 20 minutes. You watch them roll their dice and fight, and
like, what's the time frame here compared to like for somebody like me who only knows The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings? Like, what's the time frame for these like campaigns and stuff?
Oh, it's if we were to play it real life, 2 hours.
No, I mean like inside the world of Middle Earth. Like, when do these campaigns take place?
Whenever you want, because there's 40 armies, there's 40 different factions you can play. So you can decide whenever, or you just make up your own. Or like let's say you're a Uruk-hai player and I'm a Rohan player. Well, we have all these scenarios we can just pick. And they can be from the movie, or we could do something from the Two Towers, or we could just make up our own, and you could have elves fighting Uruk-hai in Helm's Deep just because you want to. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was just thinking of something really, really cool we could do. If you guys are down.
Yeah. Okay.
Magic the Gathering. They currently have, I don't know if it's the most current set that came out or whatever, but it's the Lord of the Rings set. And so you can have like your Frodo cards and like everybody know like Legolas and elf decks and everything else, Mm-hmm. But under the rules of Magic the Gathering.
Well, that's cool.
So we could each buy, I think they're like $20, dude. They're not very much. These like starter decks that you can buy. And then you just point the camera down, right? Like at your desk or whatever. And you play Magic. We could play it online. We could play it during a chat.
I'm down for that.
That'd be so much fun.
Yes.
I'm down for that. I've never played any of those card games. I would love to
be worth it.
Now, the question is, if we do that online on a live chat, will Hasbro send the Pinkertons to our homes to assault us and make our wives cry?
I hope so.
They could try.
I hope they make your wife cry.
So, that's the question. Yeah. So, yeah, man, it's cool. I'm excited. I think I'm going to focus on the men of Minas Tirith and see if I can find I'm going to get some cavalry for them, and we'll see, and see if I can get some local games in some areas. But yeah,
I was just looking forward about the time frame, because I know like some games, like as they come out with new campaigns, they're campaigns that take place at specific times in universe. You know what I mean?
So you can there are whole scenario books that follow the Fellowship. So like we could do a whole day where you and Honda play all of the Fellowship characters. You break up the Fellowship, split it up. He gets the two hobbits and Gandalf and Boromir, and you get Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. Yeah, so you split it up, and then I'm playing the orcs that day. And so you actually follow the movie, and you could play all of the different like scenarios and scenes in the movie. play them out.
In
and
this
that's the fun
universe,
part.
me playing Boromir sacrifices Pippin to save his own life.
Yeah, that's cool. And then there's other cool stuff that allow you to build your own fellowship. So let's say you didn't want to take Legolas, you wanted to take his father. So like you have his father, and like Saruman takes charge of the fellowship. Like he didn't turn on the fellowship, so you can build your own fellowship of the ring with a certain amount of points, and change things up. So it's fun. It's super cool.
That's cool. All right. I was just curious because I've been watching your videos on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna start painting tonight. Yeah, I'm charging my phone now so I can go to the studio area, which is also known as the garage.
Dude, if we play Magic games, usually take, I don't know, like 30, 45 minutes, somewhere in there. Once you get in the full swing of it, first couple games will probably be slower than that, obviously, as you're learning how the game works and what to do and what the cards mean, because like every card has different things that it can do, and you have to kind of read it and understand it. And like all of a sudden I'm doing something, you're like, wait, what are you doing? You know, now I have to explain it to you. But the fifth, sixth time you play it, like all that shit's gone. You're just playing, you know.
That's cool. All right, cool, everyone, cool. So anyway, welcome out there, everyone watching to the Weekend Geek. I don't know what we're going to talk about here. I was going to talk about the movie that I saw today, so I figured some people were interested. I've seen a lot of very controversial things online about this movie. The biggest controversy for me about going to see this movie was I didn't want to go see it because I'm going to be honest with you, the last few DC movies really hadn't done much for me, except for Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I really liked that one. But like Flash, it was all right. Black Adam, yeah. You know, then it was like, what was it? Wonder Woman 1984, and like just not good stuff. So, you know, obviously, I'm talking about Blue Beetle. Wasn't really like sold on going to see this movie until my daughter was like, "Oh, I want to see it," and I was like, "Okay, well, if you want to see it, I'll take you to go see it." Right? A lot of controversial stuff online. Depends on where you look. Obviously, some people saying greatest DC movie of all time. Some people saying biggest woke piece of trash they've ever seen. I'm like, damn, okay. There's some. Have you seen Last Jedi? I don't know. Critics are like 50-50 on this movie. You go to Rotten Tomatoes, audience score is great, 92% on this movie. So, like, depending on where you look, this movie could have been anything when I walked into it. I didn't know what I was walking into. Didn't have a clue. Blue Beetle character, I am not very familiar with, at least that version of Blue Beetle. Like, I know the Ted Kord Blue Beetle for all my comic geeks out there. I know the Ted Kord version of Blue Beetle that originally came from the Charleston comics, and then DC bought him out, and then they, like, moved him into the DC universe back in the 80s when I was reading comics. And I know that version of Blue Beetle. This new version of Blue Beetle, I only know him from the cartoons, right? Never read him in the comics, anything like that. So I don't know a whole lot about him other than if it wasn't in the comic or it wasn't in the cartoons, like that Young Justice cartoon and stuff that came out that I watched. Like if it wasn't in that, I don't know much about this character. But, you know, my daughter wants to see it. So I'm like, all right, we'll go watch it. I'm leaving my expectations open. I got no expectations for this movie, good or bad. I don't know what I'm walking into, right? Like I know, like the main guy in the movie is the kid from Cobra Kai. And I'm like, well, I like him in Cobra Kai. That's something. A bunch of other people in the movie that, like, for the most part, like I know that George Lopez is in the movie, who I think is a funny comedian. I hate his political opinions, but I think he's a funny comedian. And then, like, I didn't even know, but Susan Sarandon's in the movie. Didn't know this until I started watching the movie. She's in the movie. She's the bad guy. So my analysis of this movie was it was really fucking good. Like, I loved the shit out of this movie. This was a fun fucking movie. It had action. It had humor. It had heart. Like, it made me not want this watching this movie and how much fun it was to go see this movie. Like made me think that James Gunn and all his big plans for the Marvel DC universe, he's gonna do a Superman movie and a Batman movie and this and that. Like, dude, just do a bunch of characters that are lesser known, because this was just great. This was just fun. It was just a fun movie. And I know James Gunn didn't have nothing to do with this movie. It was already, like, I think it was all mostly done by the time he took over DC Studios. Right, so I don't think he had anything to do with it, other than he has come out and publicly said it is technically the first movie in his new universe. And I think he's only saying that because it was already going to come out, right? And you can't say that about Flash, because Flash was all about rewriting the timelines and all that stuff, right? You can say that happened right before this new universe, but you can't say that's in the universe, right? So he said, "Oh, well, yeah, this is technically the first movie in the new DC Studios universe, but he's going to focus on Superman and Batman and fucking all this other stuff, right?" You know what this reminded me of? This reminded me of Iron Man back in 2009. In that, like, this would be a great story to build a universe off of. You start somewhere small. If you watch that first Iron Man movie. Like, let's be honest, it's not a big movie, right? Like, the main conflict of the movie is between Tony Stark and, what's his face? So I'm blanking on his name at the moment. I forget the character's name. But anyway, and it ends up with just like many movies do, where it's like the good guy against the bad guy who's basically the same as him, except stronger, but he somehow manages to defeat him, right? Like, it's just that, the other dude's is in just a better Iron Man suit at the end of the movie, but he still manages to find a way to defeat him. It's a fairly simple story if you go watch that first Iron Man. It's all about the character of Tony Stark becoming a hero. He does fight some terrorists and stuff here and there in the movie, but it's not a big world-ending storyline. The bad guy is really just a corporate villain who just ends up getting an Iron Man suit of his own that's better than his. Right? Like, it's not a big movie, right? And that's what this reminded me of. It wasn't a big movie, right? No big world-ending shit going on. Fairly simple storyline about a dude who gets a hold of this technology by accident and kind of falls into kind of becoming a hero by the end of the movie. Very simple story. Funny as shit, by the way.
Dude, how many times have I said that where I'm like, these stories, they're trying to one up each other and like the stakes keep getting higher and higher. Like, just give us a simple fucking story, dude. That's good.
Yeah, it's just a simple story of like, and he's like the reluctant hero who gets this thing accidentally, starts off not wanting it. You know what I mean? It's got the family in it's fucking hilarious, by the way. His family in it is great. Now, I will admit, I laugh my ass off mostly because everybody in this kid's family, I'm like, I know those motherfuckers because they're in my wife's family. Because I will say, this does focus a lot on his family and them being Mexican and all this stuff. So I think that's what some people were saying was like, so it's woke because it focused on his family and they like speak Spanish sometimes in the movie. And so that means it's woke. And I'm like, dude, that's everybody I live around. That's my wife's family. Like, it was very relatable for me and it was fucking hilarious. And all the people they got to play the kid's family were fucking hilarious. Again, I hate George Lopez's political opinions, but he was fucking hilarious in this movie. He was great in this movie as he plays the kid's uncle. And he was absolutely hilarious. And the whole family was jokes. Great. Huh?
Did he steal all his jokes?
No, you're thinking of the other dude. That's Carlos Mencia. Carlos Mencia, not George Lopez. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened to Carlos Mencia. I ain't seen him in fucking years. But I had a lot of fun at this movie. I thought it was.
He's got a podcast. It's bad.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, I've seen him. It's very sad.
I'm not interested.
Joe Rogan destroyed that man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, look, I'll just throw it out there. I think this movie's a lot of goddamn fun. And it was not overdone, and it was a simplified, reluctant hero storyline, fighting the bad guy to save his family, and by the end, he gets a girlfriend out of it. You know what I mean? Simple storytelling done well, right? The plot of the movie is not big. It's not complex. You know what I mean? They didn't try to do too much. They focused on the characters in the story. There's also a lot of Easter eggs. If you're a comic geek like me, a lot of Easter eggs in the movie that they don't focus a lot on, but shit that I'm like, oh, I know that because they focus a lot on Ted Kord, who was the previous Blue Beetle. He's not in the movie, but his daughter is. And they focus a lot on, you know, him having been Blue Beetle and all that kind of stuff. A lot of cool comic stuff in there for comic fans. For people that just want a fun movie, it's a great movie. I had a lot of fun, man. It was one of the it's about the most fun I've had at the movies in a long time. Just to see a good, fun movie. So I don't know what the hate is on this. I don't know where people are getting the woke thing from. You know what I mean? Like none of the character, like there was none of the like, you know, the main characters, a guy, a man is the hero. Oh no, I'm sure that triggered some people. And you know, like the you know, other again, the lot of the hate I've seen people talking about how it's woke comes from the fact that it focuses so much on, you know, him coming from a Hispanic family. I'm like, well, that's the character. Like even in the, you know, even in the cartoons I've watched, I mean, his name is fucking Jaime Reyes. Like that's kind of him. And he's a kid that lives with his family, who's a big part of his life. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they add a lot to the movie. They add a lot of humor and heart to the movie that if they weren't in there, the movie would not have been as good. So I don't know why that's got to be woke. You know what I mean? I got to me,
you ever watch
woke
The
and all.
Godfather?
You
ever watch The Godfather?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's okay. So what's it all about? Family. Being Italian, right? Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, this was no more woke than The Godfather.
Right. That's so like,
you know what I mean? Like
and there's nothing wrong with being proud of your heritage. No. And so I'm like, I don't understand like the pushback sometimes on that stuff. So I think it's sometimes manufactured. Though.
I think it is. I think you know what I think it is. But part of it is Hollywood's fault. That people are now accustomed to what comes out has got to be woke somehow. It's got to be pushing an agenda, right?
Dude, so there was a song playing.
They've done it so many fucking times. They do it all the time, right? So I think people are accustomed. So they assume they go watch a movie, they see something. This must be some woke subliminal messaging somehow. Somehow they're trying to like program people with some woke ideology. And I get it, man, because it's all over the place all the time. But that is not this movie. Yeah, it's just not. It was just good. And like I said, because of living where I live down here in South Texas, close to the border, and, you know, knowing all the people that I know, it was very relatable to me seeing these characters. And I thought it was great. I thought it was absolutely fucking just, again, I can't stress this enough. Just a good, fun movie. Like you just go in and enjoy yourself for the 2 hours or whatever it is, right? And how often does that happen anymore? You know what I mean? Like it's just a good, simple, fun movie, you know? So I loved it, man. I loved it. I had a fun time. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to see it again at some point. And I'll say, like, when it comes to DC movies, it reminded me of the Shazam movies. Both the Shazam movies I thought were just good, fun movies, right? Just good, fun superhero movies. They weren't overly complex. They just had good humor, good heart, and good action in them. And that's what this movie was. And if DC would just keep doing stuff like that, you know what I mean? Instead of all the other bullshit they get involved with, right? Whatever, you know, I mean, because their track record at DC is, I mean, even to say 50-50 is pushing it at this point, right? Like, if you go back to Man of Steel, where they started all this movie universe stuff, like 50-50 is being generous. Saying 50% of the stuff they put out was good is being generous at this point. So, you know, I don't know. And we'll see. Maybe this whole plan that James Gunn has with doing more, new Superman movies and Batman Brave and the Bold, and he wants to do all this other stuff. Maybe it will be good. I don't know.
I just think do you think that we're approaching we're getting tired of this genre?
Yes. I am.
It depends. I think we're getting tired of the genre being done the way it's been done. And the mistake is that they've turned it into a cookie cutter factory. Well, Marvel's done it.
Yeah.
DC's done it from the beginning, basically. Like they've turned it into a big star, big star. You got to meet all these things. We got to have the right producers behind it. We got to have the right director behind it. Writing doesn't matter, and the more crazy and complex it is, the better. Quick, throw multiverse into the mix for no fucking reason that doesn't add anything to the story at all. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's what Honda hit on a good point, and it was, it doesn't need to be some huge, large scale all the time, and that's my like. I love the Batman '89, right? Why? It's just one bad guy.
Yeah,
in a town, the town's at risk, and he has to fight the bad guy. Like, that's just what I need. I just want that. I don't need it to be the whole universe and the whole, and everybody else. It can be one little story, and that's what I want sometimes. So,
yeah, like I said, I think when comic movies are done right, people still want it. If you look at Guardians of the Galaxy 3, fantastic movie. People loved it. People ate it up. And it was a really good movie, right? Go back a couple years, Spider-Man Far From Home. Great fucking movie. Love that movie. People ate it up. It did the stuff right. So I don't think people are tired of the genre. I think people are tired of the cookie cutter nature and the overcomplication of stories and characters when it's not needed.
Yep.
And then the woke stuff certainly does not help, obviously. Mm-hmm. Right? And I think that's what it is. Lace in the chat says it has to do with political stuff related to immigration. In this movie? Like, there was no political stuff in this movie. Like, obviously his family are immigrants, but like there was no, like, nobody's waving any Mexican flags in here. You know what I mean? Like,
so there was this song playing at work and they say, "Woo child" during the song. And I was singing along and I go, "Woo child." And this black girl goes, "That was fucked up." Like, people are just ready for it, bro.
Yeah. Well, and again, and to go what we were saying, people are ready for the woke stuff too. People are ready to be fucking inundated with woke bullshit because Hollywood has trained them to think that everything is going to be woke. It's their own damn fault. So I get it. I get why people would be like, "Oh, of course." But like, I watched the movie, man. There's other than at one point, George Lopez, in a very funny way, they're talking about Ted Cord and him having been Blue Beetle and all this shit, and then the main characters talking to somebody else, and they're talking about that, and he goes, "Oh, you mean so he was kind of like Batman?" And then George Lopez is like, "Batman was a fascist," and it's hilarious because fuck Batman. I don't even like Batman that much as a character, but like, you know what I mean? Like, that was about the most political it got. Was when George Lopez says that, right? And he's trashing another DC character, right? Because it's very reminiscent of how comic fans talk about comic characters. There's some comic characters that people just absolutely hate, right? And some they love, and they'll sit there and I trash Batman all the fucking time as a comic character. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I guess if that was a thing, like, that's literally the most political statement in the entire movie, is when George Lopez is yelling about Batman, so, and I get it. People are ready. And I could completely see this movie having been thrown through the woke washing machine and them having skirted in some like secondary storyline about illegal immigration or something. It could have happened, but it wasn't in there. They didn't do that. You know what I mean? They could have. And given how woke Hollywood loves to go, they certainly could have done that. And there was a good chance they probably might have tried, but it's not in the movie. So, you know, like I saw nothing to complain about here. It was just a fun fucking movie. I loved it. I had a great time. Had a great time, man. Everybody's, I mean, people in the theater are laughing and cheering and shit. It was the most involved I've been in a movie at the movie theater with the other people in the theater since like Spider-Man No Way Home. Right. And that was 2 years ago now, 2.5 years. When did that come out? I can't remember. Was it 2021? It was around Christmas time, but like 2021, 2022, whenever no, it wasn't 2022. That was just 6 months ago. It was 2021. So like, that's the last time I was in the theater where people were laughing and cheering and doing stuff as like a group, because you could just tell everybody was enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like, this is the first time since then that I've been in a movie like that where people just were fucking having fun. Right? They weren't getting preached to. They weren't being confused by an overly complicated story about the multiverse or whatever other BS. Some writer or producer thought, we got to do this because we got to tie it into 50,000 other fucking things. The only links to other stuff out there in the DC universe was just little Easter eggs, right? George Lopez saying Batman's a fascist, or the fact that when the kid first comes home from school, he's just graduated college, he's wearing a sweatshirt that on the back says Gotham University, right? Like little shit like that, just little hints, things that you wouldn't even pick up on, honestly, unless you were a bigger fan, And it was done very well. I quite enjoyed it. I recommend people go see it. If you like comic movies or comic books, it's one you should absolutely go see. It was a lot of fun. So that is my full-length review of Blue Beetle, a movie that I had no expectations for whatsoever, because I assumed it was either going to disappoint me the way Flash did, or it was just going to be completely benign and I would have no emotions about it whatsoever, like Black Adam, right? Like Black Adam was just one of those movies I went and saw, and I was like, okay, I went and saw a rock movie. And when I was done, I was like, well, the movie didn't like offend me in any way, but like, if I never see that movie again, I'm fine, right? And then going back to like Wonder Woman, the one before that was Wonder Woman 1984, and that movie was just fucking awful. So it was nice. It was nice to be pleasantly surprised by a DC movie,
Black Adam would have been 100 times better if that kid wasn't in it.
That kid was annoying as fucking balls. God. Yes. Holy shit, was that kid annoying as shit in that fucking movie. It was bad, man. But again, it was a fairly benign movie, though. I mean, all said and done, right? It was just this weird. It was this weird kind of benign, generic superhero movie. You know what I mean? It was almost like a paint by numbers movie. Like, okay, we got to have the good guy and he's got to get his powers. And then we got to have a conflict. And then, well, we don't know if he's a good guy, but he's a good guy in the end. And then we got to have all these faceless fucking, bad guys that come out of nowhere that the good guys can kill them. And it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? In the end, just throw massive amounts of bad guy enemies at the screen. And it was just a very generic fucking superhero movie that really didn't do anything. So again, I was pleasantly surprised by Blue Beetle. I thought they did a very good job, and I look forward to getting to see it again. So yeah, there you go, guys. Anyway,
okay, just a second before we go on.
Yes.
I'm becoming more and more of the opinion that words like woke and fascist and many others have been so overused, misused, and abused where they've lost any original meaning anymore.
Yeah, they absolutely have. Yeah. So you're 100% right. It's just like If somebody disagreed with you, you're a racist. If somebody disagreed with you, you're a fascist. If you didn't like something, oh, it's because it was woke. You know what I mean? Like that stuff is starting to just get used all the time. Like if you didn't like the movie, cool, you didn't like the movie. But like, don't sit there and say it was like, oh, it was woke. I didn't like the movie because it was woke. It's like, no, it wasn't. I watched the fucking movie. It wasn't
I didn't
woke.
like the movie because it sucked balls.
What movie?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like if you didn't like the movie, it's like, oh, the characters suck, whatever. Just say that shit. But now the go-to is, well, it was woke. That's why I didn't like it. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of woke shit out there, man. They brought this shit on themselves. But like, you know, what for me, woke is a very specific thing. It's pushing a very specific, you know, agenda that covers, you know, like one of these 5 different topics or whatever the fuck it is, right? And that's what woke is. And there wasn't any of that in this movie. So, but yeah. So there you go. That's the only topic I had for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for showing up. Hope you had a great time. Have a great weekend. Bye.
All right.
Later.
Hey, wait.
Where are the white women at?
I've actually got caught up on a couple of movies that have been out for a little while. One was Guardians of the Galaxy 3 you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I loved it.
What did you think? It was great, wasn't it?
That was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was fucking awesome. I love how the fact that Chris Pratt was able to slip in the F word, because I saw a video where he's talking about it.
Oh yeah, get in the fucking farm.
Yeah, how he's tried just about every movie he's been in to get it slipped in, but just that one scene, it flowed so well that they left it in, because they're allowed to get one F-bomb in every movie and like 2 shit words. I think he said.
Something like that. Where it goes from PG-13 to R.
But no, that was a good, fun movie. I enjoyed it.
It hasn't. I'm trying to think. Let me think before I make this statement. I mean, there's been some good movies that have come out this year, and maybe I'm just not remembering previous years, but it does seem like there's been a lot of good movies that have come out this year. Like, loved Guardians of the Galaxy 3, loved Oppenheimer, loved Dungeons and Dragons movie. I loved that movie. I thought that was a great movie, even though it didn't make money for shit. But I thought it was a great movie. Loved Blue Beetle. You know, thought it was a great movie. Had a lot of fun. You know, so there's been a few good movies that have come out this year. I also loved the new Mission Impossible. So that's another one. So I'm slowly building.
That was pretty good.
For here, you know. And I'm looking forward to things like The Creator. You know, looking forward to that. Looking forward to Dune Part 2.
They're finally coming out with the second one.
Yeah, it comes out in November, I think. November or December.
Something like that, yeah.
Hopefully it's better than the first one.
I loved the first one.
That first one was so fucking slow. It was just almost boring.
Yeah, because it's Dune. Dune is a slow story.
I know, but still, you know.
I'm saying, have you read the books?
No, I haven't read the books.
Yeah, they're like 1,000-page books, and they take a while.
Damn.
Read? What?
Everest Num says TMNT. I haven't watched TMNT. I'm not gonna go to the movies to see that. Like when it's free to watch somewhere, I'll watch it, but I'm not going to the movies. Has it come out yet?
What are these boo-ooks you're speaking of?
All right. Have you seen? I want your opinion on this. Have you seen the previews for Expendables 4?
Nope. I saw the first preview they dropped a couple months ago. I don't really remember it. It just looked like an Expendables movie, like, you know, just lots of shit blowing up and people in it. Like, I don't know.
Do you think it's gonna do far worse just because they have one horrible character in there, or actor that has Megan Fox in it? I can't stand that stupid bitch.
Well, she's been in the movies before. She plays Jason Statham's girlfriend.
No, not Megan Fox. That was Charisma Carpenter that played Jason Statham's girlfriend
in the first one or two, but then it was Megan Fox in like the last one.
Was it?
Yeah, Megan Fox has been in these movies before.
Oh,
yeah. I can't remember.
Something
I can't
about
remember if
the
she showed up
Spider-Verse?
in 3, but yeah, it was Charisma Carpenter in like 1 and maybe 2, and then Megan Fox was in like the last one, like 3, I think. But I know she's been in 1 before.
I don't remember her in it, but I saw the previews. And yeah, you're right. It looks like a typical Expendables
Yeah, it just looked
movie.
like it could have been any one of the Expendables movies.
Directed by Michael Bay. Explosions.
I know it's got
there,
that.
explosions here.
I don't remember his name, but I know he played in that movie Mile 22. He was the quote unquote, I guess, bad guy. What is he, Filipino or something like that?
Oh, Tony Jaa.
Filipina.
He's from India. You talking about Tony Jaa?
I think so. Yeah, I don't
The
remember
guy
his name.
from the Raid and all that shit.
Yeah.
Tony
Isn't that
Jaa.
the same guy that's in that movie?
I don't know. I don't remember. There were so many people in the trailer when I watched it like 2 months ago. I don't remember. I don't remember. He might have been in there. He might have been one of the like 50 action stars that are in that trailer. I don't remember.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, I
do
like
have a
Tony
question.
Jaa. I love the movie. The movie The Raid is a fantastic action movie.
Yep, and I loved his acting style and just his being a badass in Mile 22.
Yeah, I've never seen Mile 22, so it was one of those movies I like started to watch. I think I put it on one night before I went to bed, and I got like 10 minutes into it and fell asleep, and I've never finished it. And that was like 2 years ago or something when I did that. I've never gone back.
It was a good, fun movie. I mean, I think it could have been better if it had someone other than Mark Wahlberg in there. But
yeah, I don't know. It was just one of those movies that, like, I've just never watched other than the first 10 minutes. So
I know it had Lauren Cohen in it, Maggie.
Yeah. I mean, like off the top of my head, I can only remember her and Mark Wahlberg in it. That's the only two I remember being in that movie. But again, I only watched the first 10 minutes of it, so I don't remember a whole lot about it. But you know.
Okay, so I got a question for you, Matt.
Yes.
I know you've seen it all, and I just actually binge watched both of them with my wife here recently. But I got her to watch 1883 and 1923.
Yes.
Are they doing a second season to 1923?
Yes, 1923 is getting the second season. Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure just because the way they
1883, no, but 1923, yes.
And me personally, I liked 1883 way more than I did 1923.
I like both of them. I thought they were both good.
I like both of them.
I mean, Yellowstone's still better than either one of those, but
yeah, by far. And then while watching them, I was seeing previews for what was it? The other Taylor Sheridan show that's coming out. Not Lioness, but it has that black dude in there where he's like, I'm the law, and
I don't know.
No, it looks good. It's supposed to come out this fall.
What do you mean that black dude?
I am the law. I am the law.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll say one thing about Spider-Man Spider-Verse. Great movie, but that main Spider-Man with the long hair, very punchable. Fuck that guy.
Oh, God damn it, I'm blanking on his name.
Yeah,
Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Okay, Matt. So, what are your thoughts on Ahsoka? With what you've seen?
What I've seen? I mean, I've seen the trailers.
Are you excited? Are you not excited? Should we?
I'm definitely excited because, and I've seen I've seen the interviews with Dave Filoni, and I mean, it's essentially another season of Star Wars Rebels, which I was a huge fan of Star Wars Rebels. And Duke, I remember having a conversation with you about 4 or 5 months ago, telling you that before you watch Ahsoka, you need to watch Star Wars Rebels because it is going to be all about Star Wars Rebels and those characters. Duke, have you watched this show yet? You've had like 4 or 5 months. Have you watched Star Wars Rebels yet?
Daryl Dixon.
What I thought.
I have not.
That would be a no.
I'm telling you, you are going to be completely out of the loop of what is going on in this show, who these characters are, what their motivations are, why any of this is important if you have not watched Star Wars Rebels.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it is a very important show to watch.
Can I just watch Rebels?
Yes, just watch Rebels.
Yes.
Okay.
It's only 4 seasons.
Yeah, you don't have to watch Clone Wars.
25-minute episodes, so it's not long.
Yeah, it's not long at all. You can you could easily binge watch an entire season. You could binge watch an entire season a day easily, like in your spare time.
Okay.
So it
I'll
would
throw it
not
on.
be difficult at all. I'm telling you, I have seen the trailers, and there is no way in hell anybody that hasn't watched Rebels is going to understand the full weight of the characters and their motivations and the storylines that are being talked about. I mean, one big thing is you're going to know this because, he's slightly, this is not the same Thrawn that we read back in the Thrawn trilogy back in the 90s, right? This is a different version that got his start on Rebels. This is that version of Thrawn. And he's on Rebels quite a bit in those last couple of seasons. And it's only 5 seasons. It's 5 seasons, right? Is it 4 or 5?
4.
It's 4. Okay, 4 seasons. And he's like in seasons like 3 and 4 a lot. And he is, without giving anything away, he is a big impetus. Like the reason Ahsoka wants to find him is very important. And you will know this by watching the series. It's not just because he's the bad guy and she wants to find him. There's way more to it than that. I'm just telling you, you're not going to know who the hell Sabine is or why she's an important character. She's all over those trailers. You're not going to understand what her stake in all of this is.
She's one of the main characters.
Yeah, she's one of the main characters from Rebels. So is what's her face? Hera. Thank you. Hera's in the trailers. She's going to be a big character in this. She's one of the main characters from Rebels. So, yeah, if you don't watch Rebels, like you're going to be missing a lot. I think there's going to be a lot that is going to go over your head and going to be lost on anybody watching this show that hasn't watched Rebels. Because there's some major, big, important characters that played a huge role in the rebellion against the Empire and starting. The whole point of Star Wars Rebels is Star Wars Rebels starts years before A New Hope. Star Wars Rebels takes place when the rebellion is in its infancy. And these are some of the characters who help to build the rebellion to what it is when we see them blow up the Death Star in A New Hope. And these characters like Sabine and Hera are very important characters to the rebellion. And so, like, you're just going to see them pop up in Ahsoka. And if you don't know who the hell they are, why they're so important, why Ahsoka gives a shit about them, what their goals are, what the shit they've been through as characters, being a part of the rebellion and helping to take down the Empire. Like, I just feel like there's a lot there's a lot that you're just not gonna. There's like a level of investment that you have with these characters when you watch this show that's going to bring your level of enjoyment for Ahsoka up quite a bit. Have I overstated that enough, Duke, for you?
I would say so.
Okay, good.
I think I see the importance, and I will. I'll get on it. I want to make sure because I don't want to be lost, but I'm also just excited to have. I understand it has ties, but I want to see just like new, unchecked material with new characters. I don't have a bunch of like love or attachment for these guys, so I want to see like just new, fresh stories, new, fresh ideas.
And here's the thing about Rebels and this is is Rebels. So when Dave Filoni was put in charge of Star Wars Clone Wars, right? You got to remember this took place back when George Lucas still ran everything. And Dave Filoni was while, you know, and I don't think he would look at it as like a restriction or anything, but he was under the guidance of George Lucas for, you know, 6 seasons of Star Wars Clone Wars, right? It was, you know, this is the world I've set up. This is what you're going to base it on. This is how I want these characters' storylines to go, because it eventually has to get to, you know, Revenge of the Sith, right? Like, that's the end for this story that Clone Wars is telling, which is between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Those whole 6 seasons fall in between those 2 movies, right? And so we know the end, and it's all guided by George Lucas. And that show had to be a certain way because George Lucas was in charge of it. And while Dave Filoni was, you know, the guy, the go-to guy, it was still George Lucas's baby. Star Wars Rebels is 100% watching Star Wars through the eyes of Dave Filoni. That is his baby. That is, George Lucas is no longer in charge. That is, George Lucas is no longer his boss. That is him writing all new characters and this whole storyline about the beginning of the Rebel Alliance and where it started. And you're in Rebels, and this is why I like Rebels better than Clone Wars, because Dave Filoni's a fucking Star Wars genius, and he writes Star Wars brilliantly, and he understands Star Wars like nobody else at fucking Lucasfilms does. And when you watch Rebels and see the way he not only created this whole new thing and brought in all these new characters, in addition to other characters that we do know, because he brought in Boba Fett and he brought in Ahsoka and he brought in fucking Grand Admiral Thrawn, but he created this whole new thing that, while being brand new, is perfectly and beautifully Star Wars. And it takes place at this time in period that we all love, which is during the rebellion, you know, during the rebellion against the great empire, and how we're getting to see this in its infancy. And there's even there's an episode that shows how the rebellion got simple stuff. Like, there's a whole episode about how the rebellion got a hold of all their Y-Wings. You know what I mean? Simple stuff that you don't think about when you watch Star Wars and you just see all the Y-Wings going with all the X-Wings to attack, you know, the Death Star. Well, there's a whole episode about how the rebels ended up with those Y-Wings. And, you know, there's a whole episode about the creation of the B-Wing bomber, the B-Wing fighter that eventually ends up in Return of the Jedi. You know, simple stuff like that are just fucking great episodes.
Yeah, dude, like, I will say Rebels was really good, but overall, my opinion has changed about like the old Star Wars versus Star Trek debate, right? It's like AK versus AR kind of in a way, right? Yeah. Because it used to be that whilst there was not very much Star Wars out there, the Star Wars that was out there was really, really good, right? Yeah. Versus there's a lot of Star Trek and some of it's pretty bad, right? But a lot of it's good, but some of it's pretty bad. But now it's like, okay, they've had a chance to come out with a lot more Star Wars stuff. It's been years later. They've had multiple opportunities to make movies, to make TV shows, and a lot of what they've done with Star Wars has been crap. And it's been mostly George Lucas's fault. I'll be honest, it's not Dave Filoni. Like, the things that Dave Filoni has done has been good. But that being said, even like the prequels, right? Like how they're like fondly remembered now, sucked wholesale butt back then when they first came out, because they didn't live up to people's expectations of what they should be. And it didn't. And it wasn't, and it never did. And it, like, everything that came out for years was just a disappointment. And I mean, like, the horses in space, and like, oh my God, dude, there's so many like woke things that happened, and like, dude, you almost ruined the entire franchise for me, if not for the Dave Filoni things that have been added.
Well, I've said before, if I was forced to choose between Star Wars and Star Trek, I will choose Star Trek every time. There's just far more great content available through Star Trek, through multiple shows spanning decades and hundreds of hours of entertainment. There's just far more good Star Trek than there is good Star Wars. Now, when Star Wars is good, it's fucking great. But there is still a lot more good Star Trek than there is Star Wars. Like, if I had to choose, I would pick Star Trek every time.
Dude, and I would say as a percentage basis, like if you were just like crapshoot, randomly pick like a Star Wars movie or TV show episode or something and watch like 10 minutes of it, it's like a 50-50 chance it's going to be like some bullshit or good or like really good, you know? Or do the same thing with Star Trek. I'd say it's like 70-30.
Oh, yeah, easily. Yeah. I would say even 90-10.
Yeah, I mean 70-30 would be like, yeah, like the 30 would be like, not these are crap, but like, you know, these are just like
not the best.
Or whatever.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, I still love Star Wars, but no, I mean, Star Trek has maintained its quality for a much longer period of time, even though we are right now in a period of time where between Discovery and the first 2 seasons of Picard, you know, that there's a lot of Star Trek crap. But
yeah,
still,
I was gonna say though, they're doing their part to fucking ruin that, though, aren't they?
But it's nothing compared to 9 seasons of Next Generation, 7 seasons of DS9, 7 seasons of Voyager, 4 seasons of Enterprise, you know, tons of great fucking Star Wars or Star Trek movies. There's a couple of bad ones in there too, don't get me wrong, but like there is just way more great content for Star Trek that you can just pick up and watch than there is Star Wars. So, yeah.
Agreed.
That show I was telling you about a while ago, man, Taylor Sheridan's, it's Bass Reeves. Have you heard of it yet?
Bass Reeves. I mean, I know who Bass Reeves is. That's a real person. Is that what it is? Is that what it's about? It's about him?
Yeah.
I guess I haven't seen this. I didn't know
it come out this fall.
Okay. That's cool.
Because we were watching the stuff on Peacock, and you know they have the advertisements for like different shit.
Oh, cool.
That was one of them that popped up.
I hadn't seen that yet. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And the dude, at first, when you hear him, I thought it was Denzel actually playing him, but I know the actor. I just don't know his name. I've seen him in different stuff.
Well, that's cool.
I don't know if this is like true geek related or not, but did you see that video I tagged you in on Discord about new bug out vehicle? Yeah,
that fucking huge ass Hummer. This thing went viral. I saw it a couple of weeks ago when it first started going viral. But it's somebody that Hummer actually built a Hummer, and I don't know what the exact dimensions are, but it is a 2-story Hummer that literally on the inside is the size of like an apartment. Yeah, and it actually does drive. It actually drives. It's huge. Like each one of the 4 wheels are, what would you say, about 8 feet tall?
At least, yeah. They're $25,000 a piece for each wheel.
Yeah. And you get inside and it's 2 stories. And the upper story has like the living room and the area that you drive from and all that shit. But it's not like a traditional steering wheel or anything. It's like fucking joysticks and all this shit. And then the first floor is like where there's all the other stuff down there. But like, it's fucking huge. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. It's gotten millions and millions of views.
Yeah, I think they said it was 16 meters long.
Yeah, it's huge, and it really drives. And I don't know how much fucking money they spent on this thing.
No, I don't either.
But
could you imagine?
Huge.
Do you imagine driving that bitch in the shit hit the fan scenario?
Oh, dude, you live in that mother. That's like something out of a sci-fi movie, you know, where you're driving around in your giant tank that's also doubles as your home. You know what I mean? Like, this thing is like the Millennium Falcon for the ground. It's huge.
You gotta walk underneath it.
It's got a full living facility and 2 stories, 2 complete levels in it. Yep. You walk up at the back. There's like these stairs that drop down like the fucking ramp on the Millennium Falcon out of the back of the thing. and you walk up there, and like the mirror, the rear view mirrors on it are like the size of the mirrors you have in your home.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're it's
about the size of your television.
Yeah. It like easily would take 3 lanes of traffic to drive this thing down the road.
Oh, easily,
And
yes.
I don't know why Hummer decided to make one of these things, but I'm glad they did. I'm glad to know it exists.
Wasn't it for some like rich sheik or something like that? Who's the only one who owns it?
I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
Pretty sure it's in Dubai or something right now.
It would not surprise me at all.
No.
Because
it had to cost millions of dollars.
Oh, fuck yeah, it did. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I think they said it goes up to, 35 miles an hour. So it's not ridiculously fast. But damn, it goes 35 miles an hour. It's huge. It's a driving apartment.
Exactly.
You know? That thing's awesome looking.
Would you want one?
Hell yeah. I'd live in that motherfucker.
Yep.
Park that
you wouldn't be able to drive it hardly anywhere.
You said like a Millennium Falcon for the ground. I was saying more like a Jawa's sandcrawler thing, but without all the junk.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like that. It's huge.
That would be pretty cool because you'd be like, "Hey, let's go to the beach," and you just like drive to the fucking beach.
Wake up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what was that? A speed bump? Oh, that was just a car.
What kind of gas mileage does it get?
Oh God, I have no idea. I think it was. I think it was
gallons per mile.
I'm pretty sure it was like diesel powered, but then it had multiple engines. I think each wheel had an engine.
Yeah, each wheel is an engine, and when you walk up on the first floor, it has different doors that you can walk in. That's actually like the engine room where you can go in there and work on it. And it had like a full bathroom on the first floor with shower, toilet, even had a fucking bidet.
Well, because if they don't have a bidet, they'll use a water bottle, so you have to provide it.
But I just thought it was badass.
Water bottle.
Well, speaking of vehicles, another movie I watched recently was Fast X.
Yeah, it was good.
I like
that.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it's not like the best fast.
It was cheesy as fuck. I don't know what y'all were.
No bueno.
I probably spent. I enjoyed it because it's.
Well, it's a Fast and Furious
more recent. Right.
It's a Fast and Furious movie. Like none of them are like great movies. Are they dumb fun? Yeah.
Yes.
I have dumb fun with all those movies. I mean, fuck, dude. In the last movie, they took a Fiero into space. These are stupid fucking movies. Okay. Anybody that went to that movie looking for some high quality film, I'm sorry, but you obviously do not understand what you were going to see.
They sure do spend some high quality dollars.
And I spent half the movie going, bullshit. Have we forgotten physics? That's not how inertia works.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a ridiculous movie.
Well, I think if that's what you're looking for, you're definitely going to be fucking disappointed if you think the physics are going to be correct in a fucking Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, yeah, no way.
Oh, God, yeah.
That whole scene where they, like, get blown off in an explosion off a dam and then drive straight down. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid, but it was fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, it was great. I had a
even
blast.
Before that, 2 helicopters shooting harpoons in it through the doors. Like those harpoon things wouldn't have ripped through the skin of a door of a car.
Right.
For starters.
Yeah, it's a fucking ridiculous movie, but it's fun. You know what I mean? Like I had fun watching it. I enjoyed it.
I think Jason Momoa had a lot of fun playing that role because you could
feel like he had too much fun.
Yeah.
With that. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, he's such a weirdo.
He is, but it was fucking funny though.
Holy hell!
These are like scraper tires from fucking construction companies or some shit.
Yeah.
I think I could probably reach the door handle.
Yeah, it's like those giant rock truck tires.
Yeah.
I don't know that dude. I mean, that dude looks like he's not the tallest dude in the world, but still.
And he said you can open the hood of it, but it requires a crane to open it.
They should have Shaq showing this thing off or something.
Yeah, no shit.
It's got a loading staircase.
Exactly.
fucking rolling house or what?
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much
Look,
what
it's
it
got
is.
a sink. It's set up. That's the first floor.
There's the bathroom.
And this thing actually drives. It's got a fucking bidet.
And there's one of the engine compartments.
Yeah.
I forget what he said, what type of engine it is out of. Each engine.
Looks like something small.
The engine comes from a...
It's out of a Lark, whatever a Lark is. I don't remember what it is.
It's got a motorcycle engine. He just swapped it out.
Yeah, right.
They're running off of 4 booses, one for each motor or for each wheel.
There's your living room.
Working windshield wipers.
That are massive.
Is the driver's seat in the hood?
No, you'll see it's it's behind them.
Yeah, the driver's seat's actually at the back.
What in the fuck?
Look at those giant ass fucking mirrors. There's the driver's seat.
Yep.
Each blue knob is your engine. Is each engine.
It is an earth mover fucking that's an earth mover fucking panel, bro. The fuck?
You got monitors so you can see all around you. I mean, who wouldn't want one of them? Shit.
I'd drive the shit out of that fucker.
No shit. That's like almost a perfect shit hit the fan scenario vehicle.
Yeah.
The only thing it's missing is
That's
like
insane.
a pool on the roof.
It needs like some big
That's in the trunk.
turrets. It needs some turrets on that motherfucker.
Oh hell yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like instead of having like a fucking sunroof, it's got a hot tub. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Exactly right. You need some mounted technicals on the roof too, on the hood.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh, you
operated
could
by
fucking
a joystick.
You could put assault doors on it, fucking on each side, and have fucking machine gun turrets on each fucking side of that thing.
How bulletproof do you think that is?
Depends
Like
on
the
what they use to
exterior.
make it.
I don't know because I guarantee you it's not like I guarantee that's probably mostly sheet metal. I don't think that's like real thick metal. I mean, that thing's heavy enough as is. If you tried to bulletproof the body of that fucking thing, how many thousands and thousands of pounds of weight does that add to that thing?
Right,
You know,
you'd be lucky to go like 5-10 miles an hour.
Yeah. The fact that thing can go 35
It's impressive.
is a giant moving apartment building going 35 miles an hour down the road. I mean, what the hell?
It could be bigger.
It could
be bigger.
It can. It can.
I was thinking like multiple, like I don't know. My imagination's crazy, I guess.
But hell yeah.
Well, you can always get started on your own version.
Put a nuclear
'cause
sub
they got-
engine in it.
I've got fucking mobile apartment money.
Why not? Do it to it. Anyway. Lily's out there in the chat says, you and Duke should do a stream watch party of The Outpost with Duke giving his live opinions on the film compared to his own military experience. That's that movie like that he keeps saying we need to watch, The Outpost. And this is what, in Afghanistan?
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, I watched it.
Is this a movie or a documentary?
No, it's a movie.
It's a
It has
movie.
Orlando Bloom in it. It has actually a couple of members that served in that unit during that time playing their cells in the movie.
Okay.
It's about where 3 of the soldiers there, all 3 won the Medal of Honor pretty much at the same time.
Okay.
From their time there.
Yeah, I keep hearing about this movie. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know. What I have been watching a lot of lately is Stargate Atlantis. Because this was a show that I only ever watched the first season of. And I don't remember why. You know what I mean? I think it was, I do know why. It was because it was while I was working for John Deere for the 5 years I worked for John Deere was when this show was on. And that was just a job that just took all of my fucking time. And, you know, I worked 6 days a week, 9 months out of the year. And then 3 months out of the year, I worked 7 days a week at this job. And so it just kind of took a lot of my time. And so that's why. But anyway, so I started watching Stargate Atlantis because it's a show I've been meaning to watch for a really long time. And we've talked about it a bunch of times. I know a lot of people have seen it. Night Strikes talked about it for years about how great of a show it is. I am 4 episodes from finishing the series. I've been watching it for about 2 weeks. It's about like the only thing I've been watching for like 2 weeks in my spare time to try and watch 5 seasons. So I rewatched the first season because it'd been so long since I watched it that I didn't really remember a lot about it. And I'm on the 5th season right now, 4 episodes from the end. And these are 20 episode seasons, hour-long shows. So it's meaty. Even at 5 seasons, it's meaty. There's a lot going on. Like I said, I haven't finished it yet. Should by tomorrow. But I can safely say it is a fantastic sci-fi show.
I have one question. One question.
Yes.
Is the Atlantis city in the eye of Sahara?
That's where it was. Yes, that's where it was originally. Yes. But the city is a giant spaceship, so it can actually fly around. So by the time they find it,
literally, it was in the show that they were like in the eye of Sahara was where the Atlantis was.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Watch the fucking show. I don't care.
Bullshit. Now I don't want to.
Well, I watched it because of what's her name? Taylor.
Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, that was the only reason why I watched it.
I mean, she's hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking because this is what I do when I do, when I watch a show that I haven't watched before or whatever. You get on IMDb and look up shit about the actors and what else you might have seen him in, all that shit. Taylor was actually in Avengers Endgame. She's been in a bunch of Marvel shit. Because she's mostly like a stunt actress. So like when they need to put somebody like in a fucking costume and shit, and like she's been in a bunch of Marvel movies as like a stunt actress.
Rachel,
she does like a lot of the green screen stunts and stuff and fighting and shit like that. Like, who knew? But yeah. It's a really good show, man. And I always knew it was a good show. Like, it's not like I didn't watch it because, like, I was like, I bet it sucks or whatever, right? Like, I knew it was a good show. It was fucking connected to Stargate. It's done by the same people who did SG-1, which is one of my favorite sci-fi shows of all time, right?
Not better than SG-1, but
it's not good. Better than SG-1. Right. No, it is not better than SG-1, but it's really fucking good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I love the episodes when characters from SG-1 show up on the show. Like the episode, there's one episode where Teal'c shows up to kind of help Ronan. Because Ronan's like he's kind of like, I guess, the Teal'c of the show.
The Teal'c of the show, yeah.
And he's just like this fucking ex-soldier, warrior guy, whatever. Very similar to Teal'c in some ways. And so Teal'c shows up on the show because he's going to have to go, and they're doing Ronan's security clearance for Atlantis, and he has to travel back to Earth to do his security clearance. So Carter, who is on the show for a season, she actually does show up the season after Stargate SG-1 ended. She came to this show, and like she was on the show for a season. So she gets Teal'c to come and like coach Ronan on how to deal with, Stargate Command and how to pass his security clearance. And of course that leads into a whole episode of them hating each other until they have to they find themselves in a bad situation fighting the Wraith, and they have to the two of them fight together to save Stargate Command and all this shit. It's a fucking fantastic episode watching these two characters, that fucking like start off hating each other because they're so similar. They don't like each other and shit. And so I love those episodes. And there was an episode in the 5th season where Daniel Jackson shows up on the show, and like, it's just, and then there's been a couple episodes where MacGyver showed up on the show, and like there's cool. Those are fun episodes. And then probably the best episode I've seen so far is an episode in the 5th season where McKay, who's kind of the smart guy on the smart scientist on the show, and he's always an asshole, right? Like he's just kind of a real cocky, smart asshole, whatever, but he's a real likable character. And like genuinely the best episode I've seen is an episode all about him. And Leo, I don't know if you remember this episode where gets that fucking parasite in his brain and starts forgetting everything and starts almost like turning back into a child. Do you remember that episode? Like really,
I can't.
like
I can't remember it.
Weirdly emotional episode where as he's forgetting everything and he's not smart anymore and he's starting to act more and more like a child who's terrified. Like he knows what's happening to him.
Do you remember what season?
This is in the 5th season.
5th season.
So, in the last season. And he's like terrified. And like as he becomes more and more terrified and he's not the smart guy anymore, he starts like fucking like he's nicer and shit. And like,
you know what? I kind of remember it now.
Yeah. And like he wakes up one time in the middle of the night, has a nightmare, and he acts like a kid and he goes to find Shepard because he looks at Shepard like a big brother, you know, and he comes running in and he's like, John, help me. And he's like, I'm terrified. I was afraid I was going to wake up and not remember who I was. Like, it's like real sad and emotional. And like, I don't know, it was just a really good episode where you're just like, you know, there wasn't any like fucking space battles or any of that shit. It's just like a real character driven episode. It's a really damn good show. Really fucking good show. So yeah, I'm 4 episodes from the end. And I'm very, very, very pleased with the show. So I'm just, you know, although, it's one of those things, right? Like you go, man, I wish I would have watched it the first time around. But, you know, honestly, I'm enjoying the shit out of watching it for the first time now. You know what I mean? So it's one of those times you get to like watch something for the first time. So I love it, man. If you've never seen Stargate Atlantis and you liked Stargate SG-1, which I don't know anybody that's seen Stargate SG-1 that didn't love it, you know, then you should definitely watch that show. We got a super chat here from Boob Sweat. Says, read my last chat, to which he said, just tuned in and literally know exactly which episode you're talking about. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a fucking great episode, isn't it, Boob Sweat? It is a fucking great episode. It's by far my favorite episode so far. And again, I'm only four left in the fucking show, so it's probably the best episode I've seen so far. Not that they're not all really good, but yeah, and somehow, you know, and I remember even in SG-1, remember after a certain point, after several seasons in SG-1, like at a certain point, the gold got old. You know what I mean? Like you were just kind of tired seeing them be the bad guy every single fucking episode, right? Yeah. And like I refer this back to like Star Trek Voyager, the Kazon, who were like the bad guys for the like first 2 or 3 seasons, where you were just like, Jesus Christ, enough with the Kazon already. Like I'm tired of seeing them all the time. Somehow in Stargate Atlantis, the Wraith never get old. Like I never get tired of the Wraith. And part of that's because they kind of change and evolve over the course of the show. You know what I mean? Because of various reasons that I don't want to spoil if nobody's seen the show. But like they bring in, you know, specific characters. Like there's the character of Michael, who's a Wraith, and a character of Todd, who's a Wraith. Like specific, you know, these kind of bad guy characters. And they, through 5 seasons, have stayed really interesting, good villains that you don't get tired of. You know what I mean? So it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. Boob Sweat says, it damn near brought me to tears. I'm telling you what, that was a really emotional episode. Like it really, really was. Like it was great. It was so well done. And like, you know, none of the typical bad guys show up, anything like that. It's just a real fucking like character-driven episode of television. And it's really, really good. Highly recommend that episode in particular. Although I will say, like, if you never watched the show, you don't want to watch that episode first because you have no, like, stake in these characters. You know what I mean? Like, if you haven't watched the show and you watch that episode, you won't really give a shit about any of the characters on the show. But like certainly watching that after like investing 4.5 seasons into it and then watching that episode. Yeah, it's really good. But that's really the only thing I have watched in the last like 2 weeks. Like, I'm trying to think if there's any other show. I mean, right now, first of all, there's not a lot of shows out. You know, there hasn't been many movies coming out lately. You know, I mean, I saw Blue Beetle today, and that was first movie I've seen in several weeks. I think the last movie I went to go see was Oppenheimer 3 weeks ago, I believe. So I haven't watched a lot of movies. Haven't been watching a lot of television. I've been trying to catch up on Billions. I don't know if anybody else watches the show Billions. Really good show. I enjoy it quite immensely. But I've been watching, you know, I've been trying to catch up on that because the new season is going to be starting here soon. And me and my wife are like a season and a half behind. But that's really it. I haven't watched anything else. I don't even know if there's any shows on right now. I mean, I keep telling myself I need to catch up on was it Fear the Walking Dead or something, but it's such a painful show to watch that I don't want to do it. So I've been putting that off. So yeah, I mean my last 2 weeks have basically been filled with watching Billions with my wife, you know, like one episode a night before we go to bed, and then just like binge watching 5 seasons of Stargate Atlantis. Like that's been everything I've watched up until I went to go see Blue Beetle today. So what's up, Quinn? I see you out there, Quinn. I went to Quinn's shop this morning and picked up a few things, which we'll get into toy chat here in just a second.
Oh,
goody.
Yeah, I picked up a few things at Quinn's shop today. So I was out there, I was hanging out with Quinn.
I did something compulsive recently that came in yesterday.
Oh,
yes.
I want to see. What did you get?
What did I get? Well,
Is it? Wait, let me guess. No, I'm going to guess a brand. It's
3
Marvel.
of them.
Oh, you got 3?
3. Look at my camera.
Thing? All right, what you're? Oh, sorry.
It's a 3-pack.
Oh, you got the 3-pack. Where did you get that? Did you pre-order that?
Hasbro Pulse.
Oh, they got them back in stock.
Yep.
I really liked that 3-pack. Especially the Amazing Spider-Man, the one in the middle there.
Yeah,
is a phenomenal.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, the Andrew Garfield figure is fucking great. I love that one. I like all of them.
Yeah, they're all cool.
That's the standout. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, man. I had pre-ordered that thing a year ago when they first announced it. I pre-ordered that on Hasbro Pull-Up Polls. I'm surprised they're back in stock though.
Yeah, it was $89.99 free shipping. Well, I'm in Missouri, so they added sales tax. So
yeah, I pre-ordered that like last summer. They announced it, I think, last summer, in July or August, which is when I pre-ordered it, and then it didn't. It showed up in what, June or something? I think it took like almost a year to get here. So. But yeah, I like that 3-pack. The 3-pack's great. But we are let me see here.
Definitely cool figures.
Yeah, since Jared showed up here and and Quinn's out there and we're talking about toys, I'm gonna show you guys what I got. I have a lot of shit here. A lot. It's all relative. But I picked up some stuff from Quinn today. So I picked up. I'll show you guys what I picked up from Quinn's shop. So I picked up a. I'm gonna make my screen big. Picked up a DCUC Commander Steel.
Oh, nice.
It's nice. He had that. He also had a Aqualad, which is DCUC, but it's, I guess, their what is it called? Young Justice line. But he had that, and I like Aqualad. He's pretty damn.
Does he have all his accessories, or?
He's got the oh crap! I just lost one of his swords somehow? But I have. He's supposed to have 2 swords sticking out his back. I dropped one somewhere. I'll have to find that.
He's got some weapons he makes out of water. I think I have.
Yeah.
If I do, I can
Set them aside.
I don't know where's it. I wonder. I dropped it somewhere. Maybe I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's around here somewhere. Anyway, so I got him, and then I got. Hold on, let me find this here. Hold on. Then I got just because this dude looks insane. Killer Moth.
Oh yeah. Right.
The colors on this are ridiculous and would give a normal human being a headache. But that's just a cool looking figure. The purple, orange, and yellow or green or whatever color that's supposed to be is an insane color scheme that looked like something that somebody designed after they took a few hits of acid.
Or a little child colored it.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a kid colored this dude, but he just looks great. I love the way he looks. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it is great.
And then I got then I went to after the movies today, I went by another shop. I'm sorry, Quinn. I'm cheating on you. I went to another shop in Brownsville. I apologize. And I got Dr. Impossible. They had Dr. Impossible. He was like $8.
Oh,
so I picked him up. And then they also had for $10, they had DC Icons Mr. Miracle.
Oh, sweet.
So I picked that up. And then I had ordered a DCUC Eclipso. So I got him.
The only thing I wish they would have done with Eclipso, if they made the gem hand, holding hand, translucent material, then paint the purple hand.
Yeah, and it's really hard to get it up in front of his eye if you want to pose him that way because of the articulation. But anyway,
almost kind of want to have that hand cast in a translucent material.
And then lastly, I'd ordered this one like a week and a half ago, and it just came in today, which is my Ted Cord Blue Beetle DCUC.
Sweet.
Because I ordered
the goggles.
They're great.
The goggles are actually transparent.
They actually are, yeah. And I ordered my popcorn bucket the same day I ordered this. I'm waiting for that to get here as well, so that he's got his Beetle Mobile or whatever the hell that thing's called. I don't even know what that damn thing's called. But yeah. So I got that's the shit that I've get. Oh, and then I went by GameStop, and they had clearanced this dude out for $13, but I had $10 in coupons, so I got him for $3.27.
Score.
So, yeah, that's the shit I picked up today, mostly today. Stuff I had ordered in that came in, but that's my little weekly toy haul.
Now you need a booster to go with Ted Cord.
I knew I need a booster gold.
There's two versions too. There's they call the modern costume and the classic costume version.
Yeah, I want the one I saw that I wanted was the one where it's more metallic. I guess that's the more modern one.
They're both metallic. One has a collar. One basically has a collar on a shirt.
The one I was looking at had the collar.
Yeah, I think that's called the classic one. And the Skeets, one of them, the has a variant too. I forget which one it is. One of the Skeets, it's opened up and it's got the Mr. Mind, the little worm guy.
Yeah.
Inside of it.
Oh, you son of a... Quinn says I had the DCUC Booster Gold last week. Damn it! I would have got it from you if I'd known you had it. Oh.
I still love those things. You don't have the modern wrist articulation, but you don't really need it.
They're great. I love these things. They're way better than McFarlane stuff.
So he had the modern version with no collar.
I would have still taken it. I don't care. I would have taken it. But I love these damn things. These things are great. I'm having much more fun collecting these and getting rid of my McFarlane stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty much done with very few exceptions with McFarlane stuff. I'm slowly getting rid of all my McFarlane stuff and selling that shit off on eBay.
This is a nice Wonder Woman too. The new 52 Wonder Woman.
Wait, let me see which one's that.
They call it.
Oh, is that what do they call it? Artist series or designer series?
Or they rebranded DCUC near the end, the DC Universe, And this is when they switched over to the New 52. So like my shelf down there, that's all New 52 stuff. New 52 just Captain Marvel, Shazam, Hawkeye, Aquaman, Superman, Batman, Flash, and Damian Wayne, and I put a DC Collectibles Swamp Thing there.
Is that still considered DCUC, or is that?
It's still the DCUC style of Mattel, but they rebranded it to DC Universe. That's after they. But
it's still the same figures.
Yeah, Woman Ornament is great.
Kind of like that, like the DC Signature Series, which is still DCUC. It's the same figures, but so.
Well, don't forget, Matt, you got that McFarlane Superman that's
coming Vampire your way. Superman. Now, see, I still like Superman. I'll still pick up Superman stuff. Superman and Joker stuff, I'll probably still pick up from McFarlane.
There's two versions. I got a New 52 Batman.
Something. Sorry, Jerry, go ahead.
I was going to say there's two different versions of the New 52 Superman. One is metallic, one is like flat colors. As you can see, where I can't tell my hand. Over here. My camera starts working.
Oh, yeah. I see Superman's over there.
But I got Superman figures over there. I got all the different variants of DCUC. And yeah, I got him over there. But there's a lot of great Superman figures. My favorite version is basically doing a kit bash of Mattel's DC Multiverse Superman head on the Public Enemy Superman body on the metallic Superman. There's Public Enemies, they were variants too. You had like the flat colors and the metallic colors, both Batman and Superman. They're a little bigger, so it looks good. Having the Superman build a little bit bigger.
I ordered a DCUC Batman on eBay. I found one. I've been hitting eBay because DCUC stuff. There's a lot of people selling them really cheap, and I found like Batman for I don't know $13, $14 with free shipping or something like that. But it's the what did they call it? Not Total Justice. Maybe it was Young Justice version of Batman. I don't remember which one it was, but it's him in more like an animated.
Yeah, Young
not
Justice.
The body's not animated, but it's like the animated style costume that's just all black and gray. So I think maybe it is Young Justice. I can't remember. So I've got that one coming. That'll be my first DCUC Batman. So.
Well, you say a while ago, Matt, is I put something extra in the box that's coming your way.
What? Oh. Can we talk about it in the live chat?
I know you like, or you will like. I mean,
okay.
And the only hint I'll give you, it's NECA.
Oh, I'm very excited now. I'm very, very excited. Okay, let me see this. Dom says, check Discord. My latest grab. You might likey. Okay. Let me do a screen share here. So he got himself some Punisher here. We got the Garth Ennis Max Punisher, which was a great series, by the way. The whole Max thing from Marvel was like basically like they were rated R comics. So they were doing more extreme stuff than they could do in the regular comics. Yeah. Now, are these the individual comics or are these some of the trades? That looks like a trade. That's not a comic, right? That's like a trade paperback for all the stuff. I believe. Yeah. That's cool, man. Huge Punisher fan. I loves me some Punisher. So, wait, what is this? What do you got here?
I just picked up the Watchmen.
Oh, nice. You got the Watchmen. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's awesome.
And I got the Dark Crystals.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Just picked these.
Because in Watchmen, right? Like originally, Watchmen, they wrote that to be those Charleston comic characters that DC had bought the rights to, like Blue Beetle. Ted Cord Blue Beetle was the original character that was supposed to be the main character in Watchmen. But then DC decided they were going to put him in the main DC universe. So they told him, yeah, you can't use these characters. So he created characters very similar. So instead of Blue Beetle, he created Owlman, which is why Owlman's fucking ship looks very similar to Blue Beetle's ship.
Mm.
He took all those Charleston comic characters and he just kind of made copycats of them to put them in Watchmen. But that was originally written, like Owlman was originally written to be Blue Beetle. That's who was supposed to be in Watchmen. And then DC was like, no, you can't do that because we're going to use those characters. So come up with your own characters. And he did. But Watchmen's a great comic. Although I really love the Watchmen movie. And I know they made some changes in it, and some people were upset about those changes. I think the Watchmen movie, Zack Snyder's Watchmen, is probably in the top 10 greatest comic book movies of all time.
I just sent you some pictures,
amazing movie. Oh, what'd you say?
I sent some pictures.
I really like that movie too.
Ooh, let's see.
Yeah,
it's a great movie, isn't it? Like that's one of those movies I like to watch at least once a year. You know?
Oh, definitely.
I love watching that movie, like at least once a year. So this is what Jared just
which I have zero investment in the comics, so I don't care about any storyline. I think it's a good movie.
Are any of these? So the I got a Superman coming that I got on eBay really cheap. The red, the laser eyes version.
That would probably be the top row. That one, but with red eyes.
This one right here. But with red eyes?
Maybe, but they did, or it could be front row.
It looks kind of like this dude here.
Okay, that was the laser eyes. It's this body there with a different head. That front row, the third one over.
I do want to pick this one up too, though. I like that. I like the black and red.
The Kingdom Come one looks really nice. Well, it's Earth 2 Superman, but basically it's kind of Kingdom Come.
Yeah. I had this dude here, and I butchered him. I tried to do a custom out of him. That's the multiverse one because I had him. It's a good Superman.
Oh, yeah.
But I had him. I had picked him up right when multiverse stopped being a thing. They had put a bunch on clearance, and I got him and Black Manta and
There's some of them you want to be careful if they get like what they call like gold plastic syndrome, but it's not. Those have to be gold. Like the Public Enemies, the flat color one, like not the non-metallic one, shatters. It'll crumble on you. The second one, first row, second to the left, actually has Public Enemy arms on it because my Public Enemy, it's got the regular arms from the Public Enemies figure because it shattered. It just crumbled.
Oh, wow.
But which actually gives that body bigger arms, which looks good. The colors actually match that body really well.
Oh, and I've got red Superman coming. I need to find blue Superman.
I was going to say, I was going to mention to you, I had a red one, extra red one I was going to send you.
Dude, they are all over eBay so cheap. I think I got him for like $11.
There you go.
With all his effects and everything.
Oh,
so
cool. Mine's missing the arm effects.
Yeah. He had the effects and everything. He was like $11. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So I do want the blue one, though, which seems to be the one that's more expensive and harder to find.
Yeah.
Even though, by the way, this storyline absolutely sucked. Like, I did not like this red-blue Superman storyline at all. But
they got two different face sculpts, too. The red one's got a grimacing face. The blue one's got a calm face.
Yeah, they got all the Superman there. I almost picked Superman Doomsday up. He's pretty cheap online, too, right now. I do want Bizarro. That's great. Bizarro with his Clark Kent outfit on.
It's got a soft goods cape, too. Some of these are DC UC, and some of them are DC Direct and DC UC.
This one's designer series, isn't it? The Supergirl?
Yeah, it is. Same with the Power Girl. Power Girl next to it.
Yeah, this one.
Yep.
This one I want. I want this, but he's expensive as hell to get a hold of Superboy.
Yep.
This Superboy Primes, I've seen him pretty cheap online. He's not too expensive. Although I'll be honest, the DCUC stuff is not that expensive online.
Just
like
certain ones.
There's certain ones that are. Yeah, there's certain ones that are. Most of them you can still get for less than the cost of a McFarlane.
Those Mattel like Man of Steel figures are pretty good. They don't have the Superman don't have an ab crunch, but the Zod is really nice.
Yeah. Hey, DC I got him.
Yep.
That's my DC Essentials. That's a great figure. I love the DC Essentials line. It's a really, really good line.
The Mattel Man of Steel figures, they did a good job on Henry Cavill's head sculpt. They must have lost the licensing rights, though, when they did Justice League. The Justice League had basically the same body, but a completely different head. They must not have the license right to do Henry Cavill's head.
Like these two?
Yeah. Those are from the Man of Steel movie.
That's a great head sculpt for Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I think I have an extra one of those if you want one of those.
Oh, yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah. The Lex and the power suit is actually a Build-A-Figure.
I ordered the Lex in his old school power suit, the green and purple.
Mm-hmm.
Because I found somebody I found him on one of the eBay auctions, and he was at $14 or $15, and nobody was bidding on him. So I waited till there was 5 seconds left, and I sniped it.
I'm curious to see that Lex and like the Earth 2 Lex and Ultraman.
Mm-hmm.
I got two different Ultramans. Like one's got the sculpted chest piece, and that one, the one with the paint on you, is from the Crime Syndicate 5-pack. The one with Lex had the sculpted one. It was a 2-pack. You can get those. That one was still a pretty reasonably get 2-pack for a long time and get Earth 2 Lex with Ultraman.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I can't. And I told you about this right before your chat. I can't believe I got that Cyborg Superman Mongol 2-pack for $35.
There's a Clayface Batman 2-pack.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And the Clayface actually has bendy wire arms. So one thing you got to look out for, the arms the rubber will deteriorate.
Yeah. I've seen that 2-pack. I've talked about before, I'm not the biggest Batman fan. Like, I like having Batman in my collection and stuff, and he looks cool. There's no doubt. Batman looks cool, right? But I'm not a big Batman fan, like comic book fan or anything. But
same. He looks cool, and I have a lot of Batman figures, but I'm not the biggest Batman fan. You would think I am when you see my collection.
Yeah, I do have like a shelf that's half Batman, half Joker. So you'd think I must like Batman a lot, but honestly, I really don't. I like Joker. I think Joker's one of the greatest comic book villains of all time.
It's because Batman's psychotic.
He
lives vicariously through the bad guys.
Batman is a lot better of a character when he is with the Justice League than when he is in his comics.
He has all the cool toys, as the Joker does.
Yeah, I think Batman in Justice League, like in the Justice League comics, I think Batman was a good character because he fit a good role in the Justice League as, kind of he a lot of times he was the man in the chair, right? Or the planner and the strategist, and it worked really well. He's a good part of the team. Yeah. As a hero on his own in Gotham, I don't like him. I don't like Batman. So, I used to read Batman all the time in Justice League, but I don't like him in his own comics. So, yep, there's your Batmans. I'm trying to think. You don't have the one I ordered. I can't remember what the one I ordered was, but
that's the Young Justice one, second row, second from the left.
What's the one I ordered? Let me find the one I ordered, and I'll tell you which one it was.
The one that was actually, for me, the last one to get from that was the all-black suit that looks like the Keaton toy.
Yeah.
On the right, third one from the right, second row. All black with the yellow oval and the yellow belt.
So the one I ordered was DCUC Batman Young Justice Invasion. He's Young Justice Invasion. So
they made 4-inch figures too.
Let's see. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's on that shelf.
Oh, that one is?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't can see it. Where?
Yeah.
Oh, right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I ordered. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Is he still in the box or is he?
Nah, it's loose. Yeah.
It comes
all
with
the I'm ordering loose because
it came with like like an accessory stand. It kind of bit them in the butt. They did like these diorama pieces that come with the figures, which jacked up the price of the figures, so they didn't sell that well. What was it? Roses, old discount chain. There's still a few of them around. A lot of DCUC and Young Justice figures got dumped at Roses, and I actually got a bunch of those dirt cheap, like $10 at Roses. I got the Metallo DCUC wave, all but one figure at Roses for like $7.99 a piece.
Oh damn!
It had Eradicator. A lot of hard to get figures. It's like how, and it was like years after they hit retail. It was a Walmart exclusive wave. Roses is basically like the original Ollies.
Yeah.
Batman villains.
Now Quinn in the chat was asking if you have articulated arms for the bendy arm Clayface.
I don't have the bendy arm Clayface. I never did get that one. I missed out on it, but I did get this. This is a DC Multiverse.
That's that Build-A-Figure, right?
The Build-A-Figure from Mattel. Yeah. The Pooh monster.
I've got one of his arms that came with one of the figures that I bought. I don't remember which one, but I've got one of his arms somewhere in a box.
The female Lantern, Green Lantern, is I think the hardest one to get that wave. I need to restick my.
This dude, I do want this Azrael.
Azrael, yeah.
He's pricey though. Oh, hey, there you go. You got Killer Moth too. I love that dude's color scheme, man. I don't know what it is about this dude's color scheme. It is crazy, and I love it. It is so comic booky, man. Like he looked like somebody was tripping on acid in the 60s or 70s when they came up with this guy. He looks amazing. Ridiculous.
Cat
yeah, I definitely want that. I'd love to get. I want a classic Deathstroke. Not the modern one. I mean, that's a cool figure.
I have the classic Deathstroke on my shelf too. It's just I didn't have an extra one to put on my villain shelf. These are basically a lot of these were extras. I have to do another shelf.
Mm-hmm. And I do like that classic Catwoman. That's cool.
I like that Joker. The Riddler.
Yeah. That's the Arkham one, right?
No,
that's not the Arkham one. Never mind.
No, this is a Senate release one.
And that's the Joker from what was the name of that book?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That Harley Quinn and Joker was a 2-pack from Toys R Us.
Yeah, but it was from that comic where they had the two of them on the cover and he's in the tux.
Yeah,
I forget the name of that book.
The 2-pack was actually named that too. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of the book was. But these are just I look at these and these are just so much better than anything McFarlane is doing.
Oh, I agree.
Just like these are so much cooler. And I'm actually enjoying picking these things up. That was that Build-A-Figure, wasn't it? This one right here, the Gotham bot, fucking Bat bot, whatever it's called. That's the one that Gordon was in, right? That was when Gordon was.
Gordon Batman was actually right behind it. You can hardly see it.
Yeah, right there. Which McFarlane just announced they're releasing a Gordon Batman. I do want the Bat armor as well. I'd like to add that to the collection. That'd be cool.
Love the Azrael Batmans.
Yeah,
those are great.
And I would love to have this one right here. I forget what he's called, which version. That's what's his name? I forget what his name is.
Yeah, it's something weird.
But I like that's just a crazy yeah. I like some of the really, really colorful, crazy ones that stand out and pop on your shelf. You know what I mean? Like I love this Lex Luthor. This Earth 2 Lex Luthor is great.
Yep.
And I like that these DC Essentials are quote unquote technically 7-inch scale, but they work with because I've got them with some 7-inch scale stuff here. They work with those.
The multiverse, Mattel's multiverse figures were a little taller too. They're closer to the essential size, like the that Superman.
Yeah. But even next to all these other figures here, like he looks great. He still looks good. He still fits right in. You know, he don't look too tall. He doesn't look out of place. But try putting a McFarlane on this shelf, and it doesn't match. No.
That one in the middle, the Superman, he looks like he could easily be remodeled into the Punisher.
Yeah, that's Connor.
That's Connor Kent.
Yeah.
Which is him also. When did they revamp that? Because you remember I was out of comics for a while, but essentially both of these are Connor. At what point did he start wearing this costume, or was this after one of the many universe-changing events?
When he got older, he started doing the T-shirt and jeans.
Okay. Yeah. Now, which Power Girl is this back here?
That is Infinite Crisis DC Direct.
DC Direct? Okay. Although that actually between the three of those, this one's the nicest looking one, I think.
That is the new 52 one from I can't forget DC Direct, DC Collectibles. They changed their name back and forth a couple times during that era. Both that's a new 52 Supergirl and new 52 Power Girl. The Power Girl is basically just a different Supergirl from another Earth who's older.
Yeah, that somehow magically has huge tits. Have they ever explained that in the comics? I know it's a long-standing joke in the comics.
Yeah.
Like how did that Supergirl get breast implants? I don't know.
But does she have swappable titties? That's the question.
And you said this one was what? DC Signature series or designer series, right?
They're I forget exactly what they are. They're DC. I think at the time they were called DC Collectibles.
I see this one cheap all the time. I've even seen this one new on Amazon for like $16.
One of the things you got to worry about too, buying used DC Collectibles figures. There's KOs.
Oh, okay.
And their KOs are crap.
Well, maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but I've seen this one a lot on eBay and on Amazon, and she's usually not very expensive. So I don't know, man. These figures just look so much brighter and better than McFarlane stuff,
and they're in scale.
Yeah, and they're in scale. I love that they're in scale with they could be. You could put Captain America and Superman right next to each other on the shelf, and they'd look great. And they match perfectly. But yeah, I definitely want this costume right here at some point. I gotta pick that dude up.
Yeah, the Earth 2 Superman is just I love that.
That's my favorite alternate costume right here. Is the with the black emblem on it.
What does he go for?
He's not that bad. No. $25, something like that.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
So what's this one up here? I forget where that is from. Where he's got is that part of his protective solar suit or some shit, or is that some alternate?
That is the storyline when he fought Doomsday for the second time.
And it's like some extra protective suit or something, right?
Yeah, Mother Box upgraded his suit, but you don't have a lot of the gear on him. But that was basically essentially what he wore when he fought Doomsday in like Hunter Prey, I think the storyline miniseries.
Yeah. This, by the way, Gold Superman is glorious. Is that looks like it would be an expensive one?
That actually wasn't that bad. It's from it was a Matty Collector exclusive at the time.
So I've got a nerd thing that's not about toys, if that's okay.
How dare you? No, what?
It was a breakdown of Lord of the Rings versus the new Lord of the Rings on Amazon or whatever it is. Was it Amazon? Whatever it was, doesn't matter. But specifically, they just did the fight scene with the cave troll because both the movie and the TV show have a scene fairly early on where everybody has to fight a cave troll, right? And they like broke down the scene from Lord of the Rings and how like they cared about each other, and you could see the character development that happened and like the emotions that happen when like Frodo gets stabbed with the fucking thing or whatever, and like the hobbits went from like scared to angry and attacked, and like everybody worked together and did everything, and like versus the TV show one. It starts off Galadriel's like climbing like 1,000 feet above everyone else, like, oh, you fuckers can't keep up, right? And then they like finally catch up to her and they're like, Galadriel, like we've been looking for centuries. We should turn back. And like there's like no sense whatsoever that she cared about any of them whatsoever. And she's just like shut up and like keep moving. And then like they finally find the cave troll and she like watches them get fucked up for like a minute, right? She just stands there and watches them all get fucked up and then just like jumps in like the I don't know, like a badass or something, and fucking like swinging her sword and kills it in like 5 swings and finishes by swinging it through its head and stuff. It's like, God, dude, so bad, dude, so bad. Like there's no character development. There's like they've been together for centuries, her and these elves that are fighting against orcs or searching for them or whatever. And like you get no sense whatsoever that they're part of any team, that they care about each other, that any of them are individuals, that like she cared. Like there's just nothing there, dude. It's just so empty. And like the whole point was just to like have Galadriel have her like fucking fight scene where she can be a badass bitch, fucking killing orcs and shit. Just like, God damn it, dude. Like you're just exemplifying exactly. It's like a hollow shell of what it should be. Like the things around it, around the story and the characters should be ancillary to the characters themselves and to the dialogue and like what's happening and how they care about it and how you feel, how they're introduced, right? Like all of these things were just so fucking terribly done in the new Lord of the Rings that it made it fucking unwatchable.
Yeah. And I suffered through that whole show. I did. I stuck to it to the very end because I was like, I've started. I need to finish. I need to see what we're dealing with here. And it just never got better. I will say that the best episode was the last episode. I'll give them that because more shit happened that was mildly interesting. But like again, that's not saying much. Like, yeah,
are they doing a new season?
They're
contracted to do season 2, though. Yeah,
that's what I've heard. Yeah.
Because they basically already paid for it up front. So they're like, fuck, I guess we have to make it now, even though it was a big fucking flop.
Yeah. And
because they screwed the pooch. Let's be honest. There's a whole bunch of people waiting audience who was ready to like just like get that and love it and like carry on. Nope. They screwed it up so bad, dude.
Yes.
And like
really did.
I don't see how they're gonna like, you know, retcon it or whatever for season 2 to make it good. Like they're just not, so it's just gonna make it even worse and people are gonna hate it even more.
They won't retcon it because they didn't even retcon The Last Jedi, and that movie was shit. And it ruined the entire like flow of the movies.
Well, they're gonna double down is what they're gonna do.
Oh,
they're gonna double down on whatever crap they did in the first season to be like, no, it's good, damn it. That's what it's gonna be.
If you don't like this, you're a misogynist.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be some shit like that. So
because we want to show girls that are powerful. So the best way we can think of to make them powerful is to make them into a man.
The only way they can make it better is if they got a different director and producer and writer.
Like Galadriel was badass in the movies because she was powerful because she was like no one could look at her. Like a strand of her hair was like worth more than gold, you know, like people loved her and she had power, yeah, but she never had to like raise a sword, you know. She just had power.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was such a bad show just across the board. I suffered through the whole thing, and I wish I hadn't, but I did, because I was like, I got to see where this is going. It's Lord of the Rings. I got to see where this is going. And it just never got better. It never got better. So it was rather painful to watch. And it was so slow. It managed to make all these characters so uninteresting.
Well, like specifically Galadriel, it made her unlikable because like that was the whole opening scene, was her climbing that mountain with those dudes following her, who she was like, they were part of her company for centuries, who she obviously didn't care about, and then they like all get fucked up by this cave troll, and she's just like, oh, that sucks for you, like doesn't even care. Like,
yeah,
they mutiny against her, and she's just like, go fuck yourself, I'll do it by myself. You know, it's just like, you're the worst. That's the worst introduction. Like, no one will ever care about a character unless there's like some redeeming arc to the character. Like, that's where you started at, and like you're some like piece of shit. But no, like the entire storyline, she doubles down on being a piece of shit, on being selfish, on being like whatever, dude. It's like the worst fucking shit that they could have done. Well, not the worst, but like
pretty close.
Formula to fail for sure.
Yeah. And then just as a show, it was boring. It was boring. I was bored the vast majority of the time watching this show. There just wasn't enough interesting things happening to make it worthwhile. Like, the amount of story there was in these 10 hours of television was enough to fill a 2-hour movie. And maybe at a 2-hour movie, it would have moved at a quick enough pace. Or hell, it's Lord of the Rings, 3-hour movie. You know what I mean? Maybe it would have moved at a quick enough pace to at least be interesting, even if they were doing things like ruining characters, right? Like, it just moved at such a snail's pace. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to move a storyline slowly, like, you have to do it really, really well, and you have to know what you're doing. A show that I like watching right now that manages to do this is the show Foundation. I don't know if anybody's ever read the Foundation books. It's, old school science fiction. And it's Isaac Asimov, right? Isaac Asimov, right? And this is the book series, and this show takes place, tens and tens and tens of thousands of years in the future from all his robot stories like iRobot and all those things, right? And it's far, far, far in the future when humanity's spread out over the entire galaxy, and nobody even remembers Earth was a planet anymore because they left Earth a long time ago, and nobody even knows the name Earth. And it's just this big, sprawling, galactic fucking sci-fi story, right? And it moves really slow. Like, it is a slow-paced story, but it's done really well. And every minute of every episode is incredibly interesting. And the characters are incredibly interesting. And just this whole story of what's going on in this universe that's been created, like, keeps you paying attention, even though it is very slow-paced sci-fi, right? And it's like Lord of the Rings tried to do that, but just couldn't get the interesting part down. You know what I mean? Like, they couldn't wrap the writers couldn't wrap their heads around how to make something, how to take something that was 10 hours worth of content and make it enjoyable to watch, and there's a trick to it, and I don't know what it is. I'm not a fucking writer or director or anything like that, but it can be done. It can be done. I've seen it done.
Have y'all ever
don't know how to do it?
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, have you ever heard of the theory that at the end, Frodo's going on the ship with everybody because he had to because of the ring, that was actually Sauron, like shapeshifted like Frodo?
No.
I saw something about that the other day. I was wanting to ask y'all about it.
No, I haven't heard that one. I mean, granted, I'm not like real into all. I mean, I know there's like whole fucking websites and forums dedicated to J.R.R. Tolkien stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, Cimmeralian and all this shit that I've never read. You know, so I don't know if that's like a popular theory somewhere else. But I mean, you know, as a novice, as a Tolkien novice, right? Like I've watched the movies. You know, I have read The Hobbit, the book. But like, yeah, I've never heard that before. Be an interesting.
What's the theory? I missed that.
That you know how at the end Frodo's got to go with everybody on the ship because of the ring and carrying and all that. That it was actually Sauron shapeshifted to be Frodo. It wasn't actually Frodo that went there.
What?
Yeah, I saw a couple of videos about it the other day.
Sauron was dead when Frodo went on the boat.
Well, that's what they're saying, that he didn't really die, that he pretended to be Frodo because he could do that. He could take on forms of other people. I'm just saying what I heard.
But Sauron, his soul was connected to the ring, right? Or are we talking about Sauron?
Whatever.
Like Sauron, the bad guy, right? The big bad guy,
yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So when the ring went into the lake of fire inside of Mount Doom, that was it for him. He's dead. He poured his soul, he poured his essence into that ring, and his life was dependent upon its existence. When it was destroyed, so was he, and so was his soul, and so was his connection to Middle Earth. So there.
Okay, I'm just saying what I heard. That's why I was bringing it up.
He dead.
I don't see how you get around that.
I don't know.
Maybe Tolkien could have written something to go around that, but he dead. So,
well, the other thing was like there's other rings of power that were connected to the One Ring, and as soon as the One Ring was destroyed, those other rings, their powers were diminished. So they no longer had the power that they had because their powers were derived from the One Ring.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a big enough Tolkien fan to know any of that. So I have no idea.
I still say we get magic cards and play them. We should play it we should do the magic chat.
I'm down for this. Yeah, I'm down for a magic chat. I've never played the game in my life, but you know,
you can get
decks
for pretty cheap.
Is it like a Magic School Bus?
Magic School Bus. You're gonna play Magic School Bus.
Yep, exactly.
Now I knew people that got really big into Magic the Gathering. I never did. It was kind of a little bit after my time, slightly by a couple years. By the time it had really kind of popped off in the mid 90s, you know, I wasn't doing anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I kind of missed the boat on that one.
Well, you can get a deck for $20, maybe even less. I don't know. Like if you look for one on like Amazon or something, you could probably find one for cheap.
Like a good starter deck.
Yeah, that's got like decent cards that'll teach you how to play the game, and you can kind of pick from different decks that you might want to like whatever monsters or characters or whatever that you might want to have in your deck. You know, like you'd have like a spider deck or whatever. Like doesn't matter. Like you get to pick though, and then like we could play online a couple of games, and you could learn how to play with that deck. Like once you know, like you and me and whoever else got one.
Yeah.
Because generally, like if you're playing tournament style, it's head to head. You know, it's like you versus me, and we're playing 1-on-1. But you could play like loose games where there's 6 people in a chat, and we're all just kind of like free forming or whatever. You know, like how we play like Risk, and like everyone will pick on Night Strike all of a sudden.
Yeah,
you know, you could do the same thing with Magic the Gathering. Like if like I'm getting too strong or whatever, like my character, well then like I do my turn, but then there's like 4 other people playing, so there's 4 other turns that happen before I get a turn again, and if everyone turns on me, like I might be powerful now, but you know what I mean, like there's little dynamics like that you can play. It's a fun game, dude. It's really cool. It's fun.
Hey Matt, you remember that toy shop I took you to when you came up here?
Yeah.
They have weekly Magic tournaments there, Magic the Gathering tournaments.
Yeah, remember when we went, they had the tables out and everything up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never played any card games. My daughter got into Pokemon when she was a little younger. And that was a thing I got to see through her eyes, but I never. And I know Pokemon's still a big deal.
I mean, it's kind of complicated, but it's also simple. So, like I don't know, it's like skiing. Like skiing is difficult and all the different things going on at the same time. But like once you get it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm skiing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm down for it.
That Pokemon game. Me and my uncle, we learned how to play it.
Pokemon.
So we could teach his son how to play it because he really wanted to play.
Y'all poking what?
Y'all
poking what?
Pokemon. Pokemon. How do you fucking say it?
What are you poking?
Poking the man.
You're poking the man.
Man pokers.
Man poking.
So we learned to teach his son, and when we were trying to teach him, my uncle got all pissed off at me over some stupid card, and we actually fought, like fisticuff fought. I ended up whooping his ass. I busted his eye open real bad, where he had to go to the fucking doctor and get stitches. But yeah, that was the last time I tried playing a card game.
I wonder how often
getting hard, man. Happens. Get some hard licks in Pokemon.
I wonder how often shit like that happens for people playing Pokemon.
Yeah, he got all pissed off, man. He started telling me to get the fuck out of his house and started shoving me, and he shoved me one too many times, and I finally just fucking started swinging on him.
I feel like it happens more in Texas than other states. I don't know.
It might. I'm not gonna lie. It might.
It might.
It's possible. It's possible. So I won't deny that.
You do see those the news reports every now and then, people getting fist fights over Pokemon cards at Target or something other.
Yeah. Every time I go into Target, man, there's always like a bunch of like fucking kids and teenagers on that front aisle right there where all the cards are.
Well, they put those things out in like a box or whatever, and there's only so many, right? So they probably are fighting over, and they can only like sell one per person, or there's like rules. So
I remember you used to buy that stuff in bulk, cheap. I remember going to Sam's Club when I was a kid. Like we had a Sam's Club membership. I'd buy those baseball cards or different cards and look at and sell them like at school.
How'd you like that table that I tagged you on Toy Tubers, Matt?
Oh shit, I haven't seen it. What?
The river table with Star Wars.
That one. Yeah. Okay, I saw that. Yeah. Where it's got like the fucking deaths or the Star Destroyer and all that shit in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I did see that one.
Did they? So you're talking like a table where they filled it with resin or whatever? Is it like the channel in the Death Star where they're in Star Wars 1? Okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's like a wood table, and there's a channel between it filled with resin, and the ships are in the channel.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to wind this one up for today. We've already been going for over 2 hours. It's time to wish everyone farewell, adieu. Elvita saying goodbye. Boo. Yeah. Now, I promised my daughter we're going to watch some Conjuring movies tonight. She's never seen the Conjuring movies. So she watched The Nun earlier, and now she wants to watch the Conjuring movies. So I promised her we'd watch them. So I promised I wouldn't go too long on the chat so we could watch some scary movies tonight. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're going to watch some scary movies.
Does she know that Nun 2 is coming out?
That's why, because the Nun 2 trailer was when we went to go see Blue Beetle. The Nun 2 trailer was on, and she's like, "Oh, I want to see that." And I was like, "Yeah, that's the sequel. Have you seen the original?" She's like, "No." I was like, "Well, watch it." So when we came home, we had to watch The Nun. And then she saw the beginning, because the beginning of The Nun like gives you some clips from The Conjuring 1 and 2.
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh, I've never seen those either." And I was like, "You haven't?" Because I was like, I would have sworn she's seen The Conjuring. Nope, she hasn't. So now she wants to watch The Conjuring. which
Good
are
movie.
some of my favorite scary movies. I love The Conjuring 1, 2, and 3. I like all three of those movies. I love those damn movies.
I agree.
So yeah, so we're gonna watch at least one movie tonight. I don't know. We'll see how many we get.
That's cool. I mean, that's why I haven't been in chats lately. Is I've been spending time with my wife. We were binge watching 1883 and 1923. She was going to watch them.
Oh yeah, I know how that goes. So, all right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. We will see you guys next week for more Geek Chat, Week in Geek, whatever the hell I call this show. I don't even remember anymore. Apparently, Jared's got a chat tomorrow. Honda's got a chat tomorrow. I got a chat on Monday over on the NEA channel. So we'll see you guys then. Have fun. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Still got Sunday left. So you're only halfway through the weekend, so it's okay. You still got time to rest and relax. I won't be resting and relaxing. I got to wake up early in the morning to go to a flea market because my wife wants to go to a flea market. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow morning. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. And we will see
you found some DCUC.
Well, we'll see. There's at least 2 dudes at the flea market that are toy tables or whatever. But we got to get there early because it's supposed to get up to like between 105 and 107 tomorrow. So I would like to get there as early as possible so that I don't have to sweat any more than necessary because it's an outdoor flea market.
Yep.
So, you know.
Drink lots of water.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, guys, we'll see you later. Have fun. Deuces. And enjoy your weekend, guys. We out.
Stay
wait. Got to end it like this. All right, here we go. Now we're out. Later, guys.